Yes, get in. Yes, get in. Man United 2, Manchester City 1. And there you have it. Yes, we have beaten Manchester City. And it feels so good. Great performance. Great performance by the team. There is so much to talk about. We're going to get into my reaction. A great team. It was a team performance by the guys. Yes, Man City controlled large parts of the game, but it was such a massive improvement from the first game where they slapped us about. It was such a big improvement. Like I said, after Pep Guardiola's comments earlier this week, in fact, it was yesterday, all the smoke he's been talking, we humbled Man City, and it was such an intense game. Haaland was in Varane's back pocket. Man United are up to 3rd in the league. There is so much to talk about, so much to get into. But yes, we have beaten Man City. Man, let's just celebrate. Let's be happy. Let's not even talk about title challenges and all these things. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, guys. Let's just enjoy the win. They've been beating us. They've been slapping us around and laughing in our faces while doing it for the past few games. We've won this game. Let's enjoy it. But let's talk about it. Let's get into the game. If you're not... Get into the game. Let's talk about the game, guys. But before we do, as usual, smash the like, turn on the notification, and if you haven't yet, subscribe, guys. Please subscribe below. Brand new channel where we just come here and talk about the game after it's finished. We just have a little debrief, a conversation, what went wrong, what went right, analyze it a little bit, and then yeah, just have a good time, have a conversation. Leave your comments below if you agree. Leave your comments below if you disagree. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into the game. First and foremost, as we do, we talk about the starting lineup. For me, I understood the starting lineup. In fact, I would have probably started the same team. I understood that he wanted to shore up the midfield. So yes, playing Bruno on the right-hand side, another central midfielder out wide, of course, will mean Bruno will drift infield when we have the ball to create, you know, an extra man in midfield. So I understood that. He's played that formation a few times. Bruno has got a lot of energy. He will track back as well. So I understood that. Rashford on the left, and of course Martial down the middle. He is our striker. He's our best striker, whatever you want to think about Martial. He's probably still one of our most important players because, as we will talk about in this video, Martial playing there, he's always the glue. He's not fit, and he's clearly not fit, but he's still the glue. He still drops deep. He still gave us an outlet in the first half, and in the first half we actually played better in terms of our shape, the way and the chances that we created. We created a few chances for Rashford in the first half, which we'll get into, but Martial is very important in that, holding the ball up and bringing others into play. He's very important for Man United, because he does that very well. So yes, the team in terms of the starting lineup, in terms of the shape, I was fine with it. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, Dallow's injured, so I understand why Aaron Wan-Bissaka was brought in. And to be fair to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he has been playing well, and he has played well every time he's asked to play. So yes, if the rumours are true and we are looking for a right back, I understand why, because maybe Aaron Wan-Bissaka doesn't possess the technical ability that Erik ten Hag wants, but Aaron Wan-Bissaka's always had the determination, the drive. He's always had the effort, and where he lacks in technical ability, he makes up with what I've just said. And then those are the things he possesses. He's a really good tackler, and you know, when he's been asked to come in this season, he has done well. So he started on the right. Martinez, maybe still not match fit, but when Luke Shaw's been asked to play centre back, he's done it well. And Malacia, his energy was needed, and to be fair, Malacia played well, and he was a team performance. So we're going to start talking about the performance as well, and talking about the game as I saw it now. And for me, the first thing I saw in the first 5 minutes is how the two teams were pressing. Man United didn't press intensely. They didn't aggressively approach the player with the ball. They just kept their shape. they covered the passing lanes and just kept their shape. Whereas when we had the ball, the way that Man City would press, they would press our players intensely and aggressively. They would literally run up to our defenders and force our defenders to make a pass. Whereas we would press to a point, but hold the shape. And I think that's a good thing. That's one thing I noticed that we did differently, because I think in the first game, we just pressed intensely. And if Man City beat your press, as we all know, and as we all seen in the past, they will hurt you because they are devastating. So we did a kind of like a semi-press where we pressed enough for them to speed up their passing, but they can speed up their passing anyway. Man City are fine with passing quickly, but speed up their passing without losing our shape. And there's a fine balance to do that. And I think we've done it very well. And I want you guys to really pay attention to that. Whereas when we beat their press, when they beat our press, we still held a bit of shape. When they beat our press, as we'll talk about, Rashford threw a goal a few times in the first half. So I also noticed Cancelo getting space down their left-hand side, our right-hand side, Bruno's side. And of course, we know that would happen because Bruno's natural instinct while playing down the right is to cut in the middle. And he done that a lot in the game. And as we will talk about later on, him and Rashford also switched sides a few times during the first half, which I thought was quite effective to do, because Rashford can play on the right very well. When Rashford plays on the right, he's almost forced to go down the outside because he's not left-footed. Whereas when he plays down the left, a lot of times he just runs infield and runs into a blind alley because he wants to cut in on his right when he's playing on the left. So you get a different version of Rashford when he plays down the right. But they did that a few times in the first half. But as I've said, United held their shape in the first half, and it was very cagey. And the few chances that were created in the first half were actually created by Man United. The first chance was created from a missed pass from Bernardo. Eriksen received the ball, passed it to Bruno, who had a missed shot down the right-hand side. Perhaps I think he should have hit it hard and low towards the goalkeeper, but I think he went for the far corner. He missed that chance. But we started to create more chances. United started to create more chances because from my perspective, City were probing, but we've got United have a good defensive record, and it showed today that if we play a certain way and if we have speed, and all the defenders were quick as well, our back four, we can be, and we have been, a really good defensive unit. One other point that I noticed is the man marking of Kevin De Bruyne by Fred. I mean, we just talk about Fred because Fred, it has been, for me last season, he was probably our most consistent midfielder. When Fred plays, he usually gives a minimum 6 out of 10. And you couldn't say that with Scott McTominay. You couldn't say that with other midfielders. Sometimes Bruno would have literally a stinker. Fred is very consistent. And I really want the fan base to appreciate the player, or anybody who watches this video to really appreciate the player that Fred is. Fred is Kante with tech. He can do what Kante does, and I'm not saying he's as good as Kante before everyone comes at me, but he can do what Kante does. But he's got a bit of tech. He will nutmeg you. He'll roll the ball on he can pass the ball better than Kante, and I just wish people understood what player he was. Yes, he has limitations like any other player, but when he plays in the big games, and this is one of the main points I want to make, when Fred plays actually in the big games, he usually delivers. Usually when he plays in the Champions League, in the big games in the Champions League, he's usually the midfielder who comes away with having a good game. But yes, there's still a very negative reaction to Fred sometimes from some members of the fan base. And I don't think they understand football, to be honest. Fred had a good game today. He stuck to Kevin De Bruyne all throughout the first half. Kevin De Bruyne kept having to go left, right. 1 minute I saw him on the left wing. The next minute I saw him on the right wing. He kept having to move everywhere just to get on the ball because Fred was just everywhere he was. And that's what you're going to get with Fred. I had a feeling he would play Fred and Casemiro midfield today for the energy as well as the drive and determination. And Fred had a good game today, man-marking Bruno, man-marking Kevin De Bruyne, forcing him to search for the ball. United created more chances. We created more chances, as I said. Bruno had a good chance. Over the top to Rashford. Rashford was through. He rounded the keeper. I think this was about the 33rd minute where Bruno gave it to Rashford. Rashford rounded the keeper. And I thought, tell me if I'm wrong, guys, I thought Rashford probably should have tried to pass it there. He tried to shoot from a really tight angle. And of course, Man City cleared it. But I really wish Rashford, just passed it, basically. I really wish Rashford passed it. And once again, I think a few minutes later after that, Eriksen put Rashford through on goal. And I just wanted him to just dink it over the keeper. Come on, Rashford, dink it. But I think his last touch was a bit too heavy. And the goalkeeper, his last touch was a bit too heavy, bit too close to the goalkeeper. So I don't think he had the time or the space to lift it. And the goalkeeper, of course, saved it. So those were actually two good chances, really two good chances. And that's what I'm saying, that in the first half, we played well. I don't remember Man City having any clear-cut chances. And in fact, the best chances of the half fell to Manchester United. They did. Martial went off in the second half. And straight away, you noticed a difference. We didn't have the outlet that we had before. Martial, like I said before, he held the ball up. A few times he would drop deep, give a few touches, give the ball back. Sometimes he will skip past a man, spray the ball wide to Rashford, alleviate some of the pressure from the defence, give us an outlet, give us possession, retain possession of the ball. As soon as he came off, we didn't have that. He came off for Anthony. Anthony, I think, played up front for maybe for the first 10, 15 minutes at least. He seems like he was the main striker. And with Anthony, we didn't have that for the first 15, 20 minutes. And you could tell and you could feel Man City getting it more into the game. Get more and more into the game. Grealish came on for Foden. And that seems like a regular sort of pattern. Grealish coming on for Foden. Should Grealish even start ahead of Foden? Man City fans, if you are watching this video, let me know what's the situation between Grealish and Foden as you see it. Is there even a situation? Who should be starting ahead of Grealish and Foden? Let me know, because I've heard a few murmurs about people being, let's say, Man City fans being disgruntled or at least annoyed that Foden is being picked ahead of Grealish. I don't know. Let me know. But Grealish came on for Foden and he changed the game for Man City as well. He kept cutting inside, and it was something that Foden wasn't doing. And Grealish doing that, cutting inside all the time, he's just opening the field up. And our midfielders were struggling. We were struggling with that. And that goal, the goal, of course, was scored from Grealish, their first goal. It was the first time that Kevin De Bruyne was free in the box. And in fact, he probably wasn't free, but he managed. And this is the thing about Kevin De Bruyne. I don't think he had a good game today. I think Fred did well, controlling him, really, making sure that he had to just keep running and making sure he had to work for every pass. Fred had a good game managing Kevin De Bruyne, but one chance, one opportunity, and he managed to just dig that cross from underneath his feet. And that's all you need from Kevin De Bruyne, man. All he needs is one chance. And the movement from Grealish was really, really good. Not spun his defender, moved away from the defender, ran towards the ball. Great defender, great header. There's nothing Wan-Bissaka could really do about it. There's nothing De Gea could have done about it. And that just took the stuffing. You could tell that took the stuffing out of United players. But that being said, United didn't give up. So while you can tell the players were like, come on, because really and truly, let's be honest, in terms of chances, in terms of clear-cut chances, United should have been in the lead. They should have been. But that's what happens. That's what happens when you don't take your chances, and Man City punished us. Haaland was quiet. Haaland was quiet in the game. We defended well, but after that, City controlled the game. They controlled the game for about the next 10, 15 minutes. We didn't get close to them, and it felt that the game was slipping and slipping away. Then Ten Hag changed it. And he put on Garnacho for Eriksen. And I think this is when the problem for Man City got worse. Because, of course, Garnacho is going to offer a different threat to Man City than Eriksen. Eriksen, and I've spoken about Eriksen in my previous videos, I think Eriksen started the season badly. The first 2 games, he didn't play well. He got into it. He became, for me, our most important player in midfield for about 5-6 games. Casemiro came in. Him and Casemiro started playing well together. But the last 4 or 5 games, I've noticed a drop-off in Eriksen's performances. Whether it's his age or the physicality, he's not been able to keep up a lot with the intensity, I've noticed. And some of his passes, in fact, a lot of his passes have gone astray. He played good today. Or maybe it's the fact that Casemiro is so good and Casemiro plays so well that I'm noticing a clear level between the two. Because for me, Casemiro is world class and he's outstanding. So maybe that's what it is also. But Eriksen hasn't been playing as well as for the last 4 games. He hasn't. I've noticed a drop off in his performances, and I hope that he can find a rhythm again and find form again, because we do need him. But he came off for Garnacho, and Garnacho gave Man City problems down the left. We changed formation. Anthony went down the right, Rashford down the middle, Garnacho down the left. That is probably our most common, that is our common formation. But in terms of where the players are playing, I think those players feel more comfortable in those positions than Anthony playing as the lone striker. That didn't, Anthony has never played that position before. So these players started benefiting from being in their natural positions. Garnacho was a threat. He kept being a threat. And the goal actually came from Casemiro. Casemiro had the ball. He won the ball, I believe, around the centre circle. The ball was actually for Rashford. Rashford was through and goal, but Rashford was offside and he knew he was offside. Bruno gave him a shout. Rashford left it. Bruno, right foot, missed the whippy, smash, 1-0. Crowd goes crazy. I'm sitting there thinking, is it offside? Will that be given? Is Rashford interfering with play? Surely he's interfering with play, because surely the defenders wouldn't be making that run if Rashford wasn't there. But if Rashford wasn't there, Bruno will still be making a run, so the ball would have still gone to Bruno. How do you interpret this? Is he interfering enough in play? I don't know. Is he offside? All these things, this is crazy. But the goal stood. The referee interpreted it the way we all wanted him as United fans to interpret it. I don't know, guys. Let me know how you feel about that goal. It was, I don't know. Have we seen goals like that being disallowed before? I'm pretty sure we have. Is there inconsistency in that decision? I don't know. Let me know what you think. But either way, the goal stood. The crowd, electric. Old Trafford on its feet. Man City players started crumbling, and within a minute, United scored once again. The boy Garnacho, right now, he seems like he can't do nothing wrong. Nobody knows what sort of player he is. Nobody has seen enough videos of him. Nobody can handle him because they don't know. Just like Anthony as well. People don't understand. People don't know what Anthony's going to do. We don't even know what Anthony's going to do right now. And the kid, his first attempt at the cross was blocked, and he brought it down, dragged it onto his left, down the outside, cut it back. Rashford, once again, right place at the right time. The guy is now scoring poachers goals. And that's what we want to see. In the box, like a damn number 9, should be scoring poachers goals. Good goal from Rashford. As good as any of the other goals he scored. Man United 2-1. The crowd, the atmosphere in Old Trafford would just, you could just feel it. You can just feel it. It was absolutely crazy. Big shout out to Casemiro today. He was absolutely everywhere. That challenge on Haaland to put him off before Haaland swung his foot at that ball. typical Casemiro. I don't think you guys understand how important that challenge was from Casemiro. For me, the man of the match today is Fred. Fred was my man of the match today. But to be honest, guys, it could have been Casemiro. I could have given it to Casemiro. I could have given it to Malacia. I could have given it to Aaron. I could have given it to flipping Rashford. You know, anyone except the person who they actually gave it to Bruno, and I don't think Bruno should have been given man of the match. But the point I'm trying to make is it was a team performance, and I spoke about this in my other video. We need everybody on the team to give a 7 out of 10 to win the title. And I'm not trying to say United are going to win the title, but to get into the top 4, to build a team that can get consistent results, you need everyone in the team to give 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 minimum. Some days, some people are going to give 8s and 9s. Some days, maybe some people might give 6, but you really want 7s. We're now approaching a stage in our development where every player now, there's no player that's given like a 3 and one player. And so if one player is given a 3 out of 10 performance, then that other 7 that you need to give it a 10 needs to be made up by another player. So another player needs to carry the team. You know, that's not happening anymore. You're not having 2 or 3 players carry the team while other players are just like Scott McTominay hiding, for instance, or something. You're having more times than not. You're having every player or most players on the team now giving minimum 6 and 7s out of 10, and that's a good thing, because with that consistency comes cohesion, and cohesion, that's all you need. You need to know where your player's going to be. If I receive the ball and I want to do a 1-2 with you, I just need to know that you're going to go left or you're going to go right. So when you give the ball and you go right, I just need to just, reposition my body and just give the ball again, because you've moved to the right. That's cohesion. That's practice. That's repetition. And that's all we now need. We just need more of that, because we're getting the players. We're getting the players now. And we're having the team. Let's do it. The passion and drive. Let's talk about it, because I'm not a passion merchant. I don't always care about my passion. But one thing I'm seeing in this Man United team, there's a togetherness that Ten Hag's built. We fight for each other. And I've said this many, many times, and I've noticed this, especially with the defenders, when Martinez and Varane are doing their last minute tackles, and how they just shout and how they roar and how they fist pump and they beat, they do all these things. That's something we haven't seen in a long time in a Man United team. And that is spreading now to the midfielders and now to the strikers. So now there is a togetherness. Listen, we might get yellow carded, or yellow cards, or not yellow cards, but fined or whatever it is for surrounding the ref and doing what we did today. But when you see that happening, that is hunger, that is drive, that is all these things. And as much as I don't really overly care or think those things I don't think those things are the most important. But when you've got that, everyone working for each other and covering each other, and not just leaving that player for the defender, Rashford. You track back as well, Rashford. You track back as well, Anthony. Once you got that, all you need is now add the quality. That's it. Just add the quality. Add the sprinkles. Add the sprinkles. And then you're good. Then you got a team. And that's what you see. Big boy Cass, my guy, Fred together. Those two were flipping, sliding and just hustling and harrying the midfield. Good decision by my guy Ten Hag to start those two. Eriksen did his thing. Malacia. Where was Mahrez today? Malacia did good work today. The back four were good. Varane, Luke Shaw. Listen, that could be a centre-back pairing. Luke Shaw, if Luke Shaw playing centre-back, we know Luke Shaw, one of his main issues is not his ability, but his will and his want to drive forward, because he can do it. He just doesn't do it enough. That's all. If that's the case, play him a centre-back. He can do it. He's shown he can do it. Aaron, he might be leaving, but great game today. The forwards, Martial, first half, you can see the guy is injured. The guy he can't fully match load, like you said. Right now, I think the best we can get out of Martial is about an 80% Martial for the rest of his, probably maybe his career, maybe the season. But all I can say, an 80% Martial is still better than 100% other strikers. He is. He's still better than 100% other strikers. I just wish that he could stretch his legs and drive forward the way he used to. 3-4 years ago, this guy used to be lightning quick, lightning speed. And you can look at him, you can see he's always holding his groin. Physically, he's done. So much injuries. And I just wish that I hope we can get him back to some sort of physical state. And now that we've got another striker, he doesn't need to play every game. But I just fear that I just fear for Martial. Let's just keep it as that. But let's keep it positive, guys. He still played well in the first half. There's no negative performances for me today. Even Bruno, he didn't play amazingly well, but he did his shift. Bruno, he harried and he ran and he ran and he ran and he ran. This guy ran. He did. Everyone did their shift today. It was a good team performance, and that's what you want against Man City, who embarrassed Manchester United time and time again in the previous matches. It must have been so good for the players. And the one thing that's important for the players, who some players might not have bought into Ten Hag's processes and Ten Hag's way or systems as yet, but every single player, and you know, and we can see it, we can all see it, we're not blind. Every single person can see the improvement that Man United are having. We can see it from the points that we're getting, where we are in the league, to where we're playing football. So if you are a player now, and you have to have bought into Ten Hag's system, you can see that Ten Hag systems work, and that's very important. That's what Arteta's done for Arsenal. Arteta right now can look at the Arsenal players and say, listen, see, you guys listen to me, and we're now top of the damn league, about to win the league. There's no better feeling than knowing you're following somebody that knows what the hell they're doing, and you can see it yourself. Someone's telling you, listen, in the next match, watch out for this guy, because this guy's going to go down on the right-hand side, so you need to mark him like this, and and then you go out in the match, you listen to your manager, you do exactly what he says, you mark him out of the game, shit, it worked. Listen, if you're a manager and you can just convince your players that you're the guy by making what you say come to, well, not making, but either predicting the right things, telling them the right things, coaching them the right way, and seeing it build, or seeing it to reality, or seeing it become true visually, whatever you're telling them, that is very powerful. And you can see the players have bought into Ten Hag. That's basically what I'm saying. The short way round. The players are bought into the manager. And this should be, technically speaking, a 2-3 year process. The manager literally has just got the players. He's only 6 months into the job. He's not Arteta, who's in his 4th year as a manager. He's within his 1st year, and this is the progress he's already making. So I am very, very intrigued to see where Ten Hag now can take this Man United team. I think United are in a good place with him as their manager, as long as they continue to back him. But yeah, onwards and upwards. Onwards and upwards, guys. Onwards and upwards, man. Let's do it, man. Good game. Good game. Every player, man. I've got no beef. Let's go. Arsenal, that's going to be another test. Arsenal facing Tottenham tomorrow. We will see what happens. Who's my man in the match? I think I already said my man in the match, didn't I? I said Fred. But it could have been anybody. It could have been Casemiro. I probably always give it to Casemiro, but I'm going to give it to Fred, because other than that dink that Kevin De Bruyne had, he kept him quiet in the first half, Fred. And his drive, and he was just everywhere, tackling, sliding. Yeah, Fred to me. That game was a game of wits. That game was a game of two intelligent managers, because, as I said before, football now is not, even though passion and desire is important, the managers who are philosophical and have, I think, the higher intellect usually are the better managers now, because football is a thinking man's game, really. So yeah, this game was a game of two managers trying to outdo each other tactically, and Ten Hag has beaten Pep Guardiola. There you have it, guys. That's my reaction. Have a good weekend. As usual, smash a like, share this video with your friends, comment below, let me know what you thought of the game. Who was your man in the match? How do you see the rest of the season? We're not in a title race. I don't want to hear anybody say that. Let's just take it, just one game at a time, guys. You know, one game at a time. But are we in a title race? No, I'm joking. But are we? No, but seriously, let me know. Comment below. Let me know. Yeah. Peace out and be blessed. Be blessed. If you're not